Right, you guys make sure you like this video and subscribe to Mike's, okay? Make sure. If you don't subscribe to Mike, you're gonna have a fat forehead and a big hairline.
Bro, I'm with the guy Max inside. Subscribe to him, make sure you do still. Best content coming out. You know how it is.
Hello and welcome back to another live people. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Make sure to smash the likes and subscribe if you're new. And welcome back to the GVO show. Very interesting episode coming up as always, but it's good to be back. It's good to be back. Feels like it's been a while since the last one, even though it was literally last week. We've only missed like 1 week since we've done the new format. But let's see how the panel would do it. Alfie, inside football, outside of football. I know you're very happy in general, but
for both, I'm buzzing. I'm having a good time personally, and I'm also having a good time football wise as well. But we're back again for another GVO show. Let's get it.
Hey, you never see Alfie with teeth showing on the mic channel. Never, ever in a million years. But it's good to hear you're doing well. Melon, what about you, bro? How you been?
I just woke up from a nap. I feel like that. You know Rashford in that picture when he signed for Barcelona.
Or the miserable face.
Yeah, bro. He looks like he needs to brush his teeth, bro. I can't lie. I feel like that. That's why I had to join the panel and I was a bit late, but yeah, the inside football somehow worse. I don't know. It's a bit shit.
Fair. Well, it's very contrasting feelings right now. Prime,
yeah.
How you been, man? How you been in general?
Personal life, I'm cool. Footballing life. My season with Shamrock Rovers kicks off on Friday, so let's go, man. Let's retain our title. Let's go. That's my first focus, bro. So if you want to speak, I can speak on that towards the end of the show if you want.
I think we're good. Good.
So why am I here?
For fuck's sake. Well, there is only one place to start. Because two teams played yesterday.
West Ham lost to Chelsea. Let's go, man.
Let's see. Hang on.
Yeah, man. Come on, Max.
Oh, no, I forgot.
Yeah, suck your mum.
Whoa.
We're gonna talk about.
But what's he doing like that behind you, bro?
Hey.
He's crying.
Wait, why is fake sense? The black guy's at the back. I hear it. Anyways, what do you say, Mike?
Oh well, obviously, as Alfie's background insinuates,
Good old man.
as we see, Chelsea, obviously, man got knocked out by Arsenal, and Arsenal were in the final to face Manchester City in the Carabao Cup final. Long day. Where do I even start? Let me start, Alfie. I'll give Melon a chance to wake up and Prime a chance to not, I don't know, want to off himself in this case. Alfie, you're happy. I've not really seen you happy much when it comes to Arsenal. In fact, this time last year, he was calling Havertz some of the worst things I've heard on this channel due to the Carabao Cup semi-final. Probably the worst thing I've heard on this channel. I'm not going to repeat what you said, but bro, speaking of Havertz now, it's ever come a full circle moment when it comes to the Carabao Cup and Kai Havertz.
And he pointed to the badge as well. Hold that.
What have you made of that leg going through to the final? Tell me your thoughts, man.
It was a scrappy game. I think that's probably the best way that you could describe that 90 minutes. Very, very scrappy. Not many big chances for either side, but I'd probably say realistically Chelsea had more big chances than we did. But even before the game, looking at the starting lineup, I thought, okay, fair enough that we've gone full strength, try and capitalize on that, win the game, and book our place in the final. Understood why we went with Kepa as well, because apart from, I'd say, the Chelsea game, he's rarely put a foot. I don't think he's actually put a foot wrong for us in the Carabao Cup this season. So I think if he's, but realistically for me, start Raya in the final, but to be fair, Kepa has done well in the Carabao Cup this season for us. So it was only right that we started him, and it turned out to pay off. I mean, like I said, I don't think we had that many good chances. I can probably think of one in the first half. Hincapié with a shot from outside the box. Sanchez parries it out towards Gabriel, who can't seem to get control of the ball. And then obviously the goal late on. But yeah, it was a very, very scrappy game. I think, like I said, Chelsea had the better chances. And in an ideal world, probably deserve to walk away with a win in that game. Whether they go to extra time or actually put the knife in and score the winner, you know, ideally, based on the chances they created, that was probably what should have happened. But thankfully, we managed to win the game and book our place at Wembley. The first time as well, because as you mentioned, last season, last season, I became Arteta out for real the first time. Because I'm watching the first leg and I can't even see out my left eye, but I'm still watching these pricks. And they're doing fuck all. But this time they actually took advantage and got to the final. And now we're in that position. We've got to go and win it. I don't think there's any other outcome that should be expected out of that game. We need to win that. Because realistically, you win. This is the first piece of silverware that's available to the English teams this season. So you go and win this. The players then get the mentality. The mentality grows. They get the taste for winning silverware, wanting to win more. And who knows? It could lead us on to winning the league. But that is the first stepping stone.
Yeah, it is. And this is the thing. I don't know why you guys didn't take this serious a long time ago, because if you did, could have breeded a winning mentality a long time ago. But I mean, it's never too late to win a trophy, I guess, in that sense. But at the same time, this Arteta learned so many years later that, believe it or not, every cup should be taken seriously.
It's been dismissed for years as a little cup by Mikel Arteta himself. He's not actually said that, but looking at the starting lineups that we've played in these games, you can tell that he's just not giving a shit about this competition. We've got to a semi-final a couple of times before this. I think recently it was against Liverpool in 2022, and then obviously Newcastle last season. But this time he's actually gone for it, and it's like I've been repeating myself. This is a trophy we haven't won since '93. Funnily enough, the year the internet was invented.
What the fuck? So last time you won the cup, the internet was invented.
Yeah.
Why have you not taken, like, even Wenger, even Emery, like, no one's taken this cup serious for Arsenal. You remember in the final against Birmingham, you lost. Like, we've had a bad history with this cup.
We lost to Chelsea in 07. We lost to Chelsea in 07.
Yeah, Arsenal have lost their last 3 Carabao Cup finals. Or League Cup finals.
Oh, yeah,
and as I said before,
yeah.
I was there in 2018, and the fans in front of me were like, "Oh, it's only the Carabao Cup. What are you talking about? Trophy's a trophy. It doesn't matter what it fucking looks like, what ranking it holds in terms of importance. A trophy's a fucking trophy. The only one that doesn't matter is the Community Shield." Yeah, Prime?
Oh, well, according to some Arsenal fans, the Community Shield counts. Alfie, about a year
suck
ago,
them others.
or as Jay would say, suck your mum through a straw and piss off. Anyways, Alfie, a year ago, you mysteriously turned Arteta out for some reason. Are you back now to Arteta in?
Oh,
I mean, if you win something.
Wait. Wait. I need to butt in here. And the reason why I need to butt in is because last season, I really wish this was on camera. But I hope
Do you know what it is? Hold on.
No. Let me land. Don't interrupt me. Let me land. You're in trouble here. Because this is the thing. I hope Prime remembers this. I remember asking you, if you won the Champions League at the time, would you be Arteta in? He was like, no, fuck him. Bro, what the fuck has changed now?
Yeah,
Someone's
but
getting desperate.
no, because
It's 5.5 years.
I'm not even focused on that. My thing is, when you lost your first leg to Newcastle, that's when you turned. No,
Yeah.
yeah, but you've now, and I know going into the season you weren't confident at all. You were talking about how Arsenal will finish fifth. I know Lee Gunner said Arteta will be sacked by Christmas and stuff like that. So for like a lot of you negative Arsenal fans, I've seen the positivity within you guys this season. Lee Gunner was showing hella chest for playing Chelsea in the league, saying he'll batter us. He showed hella chest a couple of weeks ago with Arsenal. Don C, who will allegedly murk Arteta. I'm not going to say the other word because Mike's is monetized now. He's been smiling basically the whole season up until you lost to United. So why? So like, surely now the fact that you've actually got to a final, Arteta's got to a final, and you're talking about how Arsenal have to win it, then surely that should you should back Arteta to end the season because you're going to win. I think you guys are going to win the league. Because the only hope I had
it ain't over till it's over.
True, but
I've read this book before and I didn't like the ending. So I'm hoping this time it's a sequel where we actually get our win.
You mean you're hoping it's not a sequel? I don't think. But you said you've read this book before, but the people that you are fighting in the book is not the same people, really. You're not fighting the same weapons.
Where's this going?
But
it doesn't matter. The situation remains the same.
I'm just hoping he becomes Arteta in. If you're not Arteta in, then if he wins the Prem this season, does he stay? Do you want him to fuck off as well?
And what changed from the Champions League opinion from last season? I really want to know.
Well, I think realistically for me, I think last season, if he would have won the Carabao Cup, I would have said, okay, that's fair enough. But this time, it doesn't.
Last season you said the Champions League wasn't enough. So how was the Carabao Cup enough?
Actually, not even that, Mike's. So the first leg, before the first leg kicked off, you are backing Arteta. 90 minutes is done. You guys lost, was it 2-0 or 2-1?
2-0.
And you lost 2-0. Isaac scored, and all of a sudden you want him gone. In 90 minutes, your opinion changed from I back you to you have to leave. In 90 minutes, that don't make sense to me. So that should tell me that with 2 90-minute games in the two legs in the semi-final, you should back Arteta then, right? If that's how it works. Why do you still want him gone?
I will say this. Yeah. In all fairness, with doing a GBO show week in, week out last season, Alfie was very critical of Arteta. It was just a case of like, at the start of that season, it was a case of if he doesn't win me a trophy this season, he has to go. Okay. But I think the whole reason why he said it on that specific show in the Carabao Cup last season was with the way we showed in the Carabao Cup last season, we're not winning any trophy. So I don't want him here, sort of thing. So to be fair, it wasn't like he was like utmost praising Arteta, and then all of a sudden it was very much he was critical and like this is the last chance sort of thing. But what I want to know is why was the Champions League not enough last season, but the Carabao Cup would have been enough last season? I'm trying to get what is the answer.
Well, I mean, like you pointed out, I said that I wanted him gone with if he didn't win a trophy. That was the point that I made last season, and we didn't win the trophy. But we didn't even get to the final. We didn't even get the opportunity to win a trophy. But now we've actually got the opportunity.
But you said the Champions League wasn't enough last season. If you had won it.
A trophy in general. I didn't care what trophy it was.
No, but you said it wasn't enough. As in, like, Arteta would have still had to go. That was my point. You said that Arteta would still had to go if you had won the Champions League. So what has changed?
I guess there's a little bit more confidence there.
What do you mean?
That hopefully he's actually learned from his past mistakes and is actually going to turn up when it matters.
No, but why wasn't the Champions League? Okay, now I'm going to break down this question very because you're avoiding the answer to my question. Why isn't the Champions League? Why wasn't it enough last season? for you to beat Arteta in, whereas a Carabao Cup would have in that same season?
There's a simple answer to this, Alfie. I'll be real, that you're not given. And it's not even the answer Mike's wants you to give, by the way. There's a real answer.
There is no answer I wanted to get. I'm just trying to get it. I'm just trying to get the basis behind it.
Oh,
That's all it is.
there is an answer, because my answer would be, right, is
Wait,
that...
let him answer the question.
Never mind.
Obviously, because
Never
explain
mind.
the answer. Let him
Never
answer
mind.
the question.
Never mind.
Let
You
him
don't
answer
have
the question.
Ugh.
What is the answer to the question?
Fuck knows.
Way.
So what is the basis of what is the standard now? What keeps Arteta in the job now then?
This trophy and the league.
Because I was gonna say the Carabao Cup is great for when you're trying to build a winning mentality,
Mhm.
but you've been in so many years in the title race that would a Carabao Cup after a 6-year trophy drought be enough?
No.
Oh wait, so you guys have never won the Champions League. You've only been to
No.
one final. You've pre last season, you've only been to 2 semi-finals. Winning the trophy, the Champions League, is not enough. But winning a Carabao and a league that you've won before is enough. That still don't make sense.
I don't know what else you want me to say.
We're trying to gain the logic though, Alfie. That's what
I
we're trying to gain the logic behind the Arteta.
I just want you to
opinion.
be honest and say the way you were feeling towards Arteta leading up to that first leg against Newcastle that you lost, you now have the opposite feeling towards Arteta this season,
Yeah.
which is you actually believe he can cross the line. That should be the answer.
Yeah.
But
do
you
you
don't
believe
feel
he
that.
can
You
cross
clearly
the
don't
line?
feel that way.
I think we can beat City.
Okay. Okay.
I think we can beat City.
Will you be City?
I think we can.
But will you?
Like, are you confident you'll do it?
Yeah.
First.
He used to be in the changing room, man. This will get them up for it. Fucking hell.
First, I hear it.
This will get them up for it. But
Yeah. Hey, big
Overall
up
with-
AJ.
overall, with the approach here of yesterday's game, was you confident that you was going to get over the line against Chelsea with given their lineup, etc.? Like,
Well, I was kind of surprised by their lineup. I think one of the biggest surprises for me after hearing what's happened personally with Esteval, I was surprised that he was even amongst the subs for this game. Came off the bench, didn't really do much in my opinion. I think Cucurella was a nuisance as always. I think he's always going to be a pain in the arse. Lackadaisical quarterback from Chelsea towards the end of the game after being somewhat resolute for the majority of the 90 minutes and then almost sort of giving up towards the end. I think didn't take their chances at all and will definitely be kicking themselves that they didn't come away with at least a goal to take it to extra time or maybe even cross the line and win the game.
I think if you're away from home the first leg and you gain any form of lead, like the confidence that most teams have when they're trying to go over the second leg, is usually undeniable. I can't lie. It's like literally like they're in the mode at that point where it's like come and challenge us sort of thing. And I'm glad that I actually got to witness that for a bit with my club. But it's like in general, you man both know of like second leg. If you're in the lead, bro, the spirit you already have, the team spirit, the fucking togetherness that you have to like not get like done over. Basically, it's like
don't get me wrong. I think while I thought the defensive play was good, I didn't think the defense looked as resolute as it usually did. I think the defense is a lot stronger than this. They weren't as strong as I thought they were going to be, but at the same time, we managed to get the job done. Hopefully, that's just a lapse in concentration for them, and hopefully that shit's all fixed by Saturday.
I hear it.
A chance to close the gap to 9 and increase the gap to 9 before Man City play Liverpool as well. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, this is prime comments as well when saying thing ups, including himself. This melon guy, bro. This fuck's sake.
You
For
fucking
fuck's
melon.
Oh wait, so you don't want the extra view? Okay, I'll dislike then. Fucking ungrateful, man. Ungrateful.
Fuck's sake. Let's get to the Chelsea side of things. We'll start with you, Melon, because you actually watched the game.
I forgot you didn't watch the game.
Melon, whole leg. It was very, very difficult thing to turn around anyway. But
Yeah.
with the lineup, the approach, the tactics, the result, Havertz scoring in the end, everything that happened. What's your take?
Shit. That's pretty much all I need to say. TLDR is just, it was fucking shite. It was one of the worst games of football I've watched in quite a while. Oh my god. Just remembering the game, man. I just woke up from a nap. I might go back to sleep, man. But we played Enzo and Delap on the wing. And João Pedro up top. He had a really good game as well, João Pedro.
He did, yeah.
Really good game. Chalobah had a good game as well. Cucurella had a good game.
I thought Fofana played well despite the crying.
Yeah, that's what I didn't even know he cried. I switched my fucking stream off, bro.
Well, Fofana did. Didn't you see?
No, I didn't. But
I had in the background.
Sick. Basically, we played just the most lopsided bullshit I've ever seen in my life. Ever. Liam Rosenier went into the game, I think, 6 wins from 7. Now, obviously, the only loss that he's had in his Chelsea managerial career is to Arsenal in the Carabao Cup. And the only 2 are to Arsenal in the Carabao Cup. So 6 wins from 8 now. Still not a terrible record. Still pretty good. But we got knocked out the cup, chasing the game, and it looked like we had a plan. We went out there to nullify the game for the first half and then turn it back on in the second. I think that's the plan. And those that came off the bench to make that change, to turn Chelsea to a bit more of a fluid attacking side that can create chances, that can score goals, they didn't do their jobs. I don't think Palmer had a good enough game for me. I don't think Estevao had a good enough game for me. I don't feel like Garnacho is a human being. João Pedro, excellent for me from minute 0 to 90. Really good, really impressive. Probably one of his better performances in a Chelsea shirt. Of course, didn't score, didn't assist, but it was one of those games where you'd ping the ball to him any which way, he'd control it, bring it down, and very sensible, very smart, very good from him. Good from Chalobah. We normally play a 4-2-3-1. That 4-2-3-1 moves into a 3-2-4-1, if you will, with the right back pushing further forward, right winger moving a little bit more inside, the 10 and the left winger shifting a little further across as well. We started playing in a 3-5-2 on paper, but it played more like a 3-4-3 with Enzo, João Pedro, and Delap as our front 3. Delap was on the right wing. Not only his political beliefs, but his actual position on the football pitch was very far out on the right, and I couldn't believe what I was watching. I really couldn't. Palmer and Estevao both played in that role off the bench and barely had much of an impact either. I feel like it was a very, very, very close game. Arsenal defended very well, in my opinion, and we couldn't break them down. Had to force a lot of players further forward in the absolute dying minutes of the game, and we got caught out. We conceded that goal. To me, doesn't really matter. The only thing I'd ever be mad or disappointed at is that we didn't actually do anything with the possession. We had it in their box. We had our defensive line pushed up about, nearly the entire way. We basically had our defensive line on the edge of their box at times, which is fucking so weird to see. We just wanted to push them so far back and try and force something, and it didn't work. But it was a personnel issue. Liam Rosenier's a fucking idiot, but you can't really blame him. Palmer played a full 90 against West Ham, so he wouldn't have been able to play on the wing against Arsenal 3 days later. Esteval had an issue, I think, with his family, maybe someone passing. I don't think anyone's too sure on the full details, so he wouldn't have started, in my opinion. Really surprised that he was actually on the bench. Left wing options, we had Enzo there. I don't think he actually had a bad game, to be honest, Enzo Fernandez, but we saw Kepa there, and he just decided like 3 or 4 times not to pass and to hit it as hard as he could into the corner, because it's Kepa. He's bought like a fucking T-Rex. Nothing came to fruition, and it was just one of those games you just forget and move on, but it's a semi-final. It's just fucking shit.
Yeah. It's just the way it turned out, and it's like, if that was a normal Premier League game, it's like, okay, cool, you can move on. But it's like, if that's a Carabao Cup semi-final, it's a cup competition, it's like, you want to win trophies. Like,
Yeah.
That's long the way.
It's the best opportunity. It's the best opportunity, in my opinion, for us this season to win a trophy. So close to the final, and we've drawn. Someone's an Xbox. We've drawn 1-1 with Arsenal in the league. Just control it down. We've won. We drew 1-1 against Arsenal in the league earlier on. We obviously lost 3-2 in the Carabao Cup to them at home. I feel like winning, turning the tie around, would have been something that definitely give our players a lot of confidence. And I think they definitely go in the final and try and prove that we are a team no one wants to play against. But, no, it's Arsenal's to lose. So
yeah,
I think from my perspective, I think nowadays Chelsea are a team that I don't really seem to worry about whether like we go to Stamford Bridge or whether we're playing at the Emirates. I think if you were to ask me this question 10, 15 years ago, I would have said, yeah, I'm shit scared of Chelsea. Fucking Drogba running riot as always against us. But now they're not a team that I'd necessarily fear anymore. I mean, they're a team that are able to compete, but at the same time, you never know what sort of Chelsea team you're going to get each game after the next. So I don't know what the situation is there, but hopefully, fingers crossed, Rosenier can actually turn things around. As far, like at this moment in time, he hasn't lost to a team apart from Arsenal in his time at the club. So hopefully, as far as Chelsea fans are concerned, he can get them back on track.
That's quite damning, like an Arsenal fan saying that they're not scared of. That's very weird to hear, just as someone who grew up in the era of football that I grew up in. It's like, it used to be such the opposite, as Alfie kind of inferred to anyway. But, Meta, what did you make of that in general? Like, because I feel like over the past few years, like, well, I saw the record today, like, since Tuchel left, of Arteta's record against each individual Chelsea manager. It's like, how the fuck has he managed to do that? Like, over every individual Chelsea manager, but I mean, it doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? Like, it's just in terms of personal records. Like, why has it become a thing?
Don't know. So Arteta, man, he's a really good manager.
He is, to be fair.
I reckon he's autistic.
Who?
What? How do you get
Arteta.
Why?
What, does he have like special powers?
I mean, but he doesn't have the choice when he can unlock those powers. Like, he doesn't have that
It's
choice.
just against Chelsea and Wolves, apparently.
Barely against Wolves as well this year.
Jesus Christ, that's so bad. We've got them next. You know we're going to lose to them as well. It's fucking shit, man.
Fuck's sake. But yeah, we just think Arteta's autistic.
Yeah.
That's a good. Anyway.
Okay. All right, fair enough. Prem, I know you didn't see the game, but what do you make of the result as well?
Not surprising because I didn't expect Arsenal to actually like really come out and attack the game. I saw the lineups that came out, and Arsenal basically their first choice defense in terms of like Gabriel Saliba, Timber, Rice played. Well, I think Zubimendi played as well, if I'm not mistaken. And then your attack got rotated. Fair enough, but you guys, all you had to do really is just sit and like defend. My prediction for this game was we'd lose in extra time, like 3-2 or 4-3, because I assumed that we would come out and attack the game because we have nothing to lose. And I also expected Esteval to be playing. Obviously, I didn't know about him having to go to Brazil because he had some personal issue to deal with and stuff. But when I saw the lineup, Gusto and Cuckoo as wingbacks, I assumed the lineup would be a 5-3-2.
Yeah.
But on my way home yesterday, I tuned into a few of the Chelsea content creators, their match reactions and stuff. And I was staring at the lap was sniffing on the touchline. I found that weird. Enzo played as a left winger, which was also weird because you played with a back three. So you had wing backs on the pitch to provide the width. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, it seemed like there was just no we didn't have any sort of like attacking threat or like will to try and win the game. Which yes, is also towards Rosenier. But I also look at the lineup we put out in the first leg. I look at the lineup we put out in the second leg. I look at the lineup that we put out against West Ham and against Brentford, which was the game after the first leg against Arsenal. And me predicting the lineup that we're going to put out against Wolves on Saturday, bro, we're not taking the game seriously, either the two legs. Which, again, is not surprising because when Maresca walked or he got sacked, whatever you believe, there were reports coming out that these guys don't care about the semi-final. That if we lose to Arsenal, it's not that big of a deal. So when people are crashing out now about it, I don't know why you're angry now because they told us they don't care. You should have been angry at the time. But instead, everyone was celebrating Maresca gone because everyone, we don't like Maresca. Awesome. Everyone wanted to try and delude themselves like Rosenier has made massive wholesale changes that we don't really play the same way. Cool. 2 legs against Arsenal where he could really try and, I guess, endear himself to the fan base. And we're not allowed to put our strongest team forward for whatever reason. There were reports coming out before the game that one report came out before the game that Reece is going to be rested for the second leg. And then a little while later, reports came out that Reece and Neto are both have little knocks and they're going to be assessed. So, like, yeah, these guys just went in with no chance. There's no big prize money for winning a Carabao Cup semi-final. These guys don't care. But lo and behold, they're going to make sure we win that game against Wolves because getting top 4 or top 5 is important for the Champions League money. They're going to make sure we do our damnedest to go as far as we can in this Champions League because, again, the prize money for getting past each stage. But a semi-final, a Carabao Cup final, there's no money in that, so they don't care. And instead of the fan base trying to focus on the main issue of this ownership, everyone wants to do manager debates. Oh, I told you about Maresca. Rosenier's better. No, Maresca's better. Oh, we shouldn't have got rid of Poch. Everyone just wants to do manager debates instead of looking at the real big issue. But it's cool. It's cool, man. I said when we sacked Tuchel, I said that this is the death of Chelsea. So right now, what you guys are watching is just Blueco FC. So congratulations, Alfie. You beat Blueco FC in the semi-final with Delap as the right winger. Congratulations. If that makes you feel better, Alfie, cool. Arsenal fans, that makes you feel better. Awesome. But yeah, this is Blueco FC. We're not gonna win a league title with these guys. We're not gonna have a good enough manager to be able to win a Champions League. And these guys don't really care about the domestics. So unless we magically fluke something, a trophy, because we have somewhat of a good manager. But again, any good manager, they won't last here. If they fluke, if Rosnier actually ends up being good enough, he'll end up walking himself, or he'll get sacked because he'll demand better. Because this, bro, the squad building in our team is so poor. For example, right? Let's look at our midfield, because everyone loves to talk about how fine, we know our strikers are trash, we know our wingers are trash, we know we need better center backs, but our midfield and our fullbacks are amazing. Let's look at the amazing things about Chelsea's squad. Our fullbacks, none of them can really play on the touchline and overlap like consistently. Like Reece, if you ask me personally, I don't want him to be able to do that all the time. Just in terms of, I don't want his body to break down. Cucurella, even though he can do it, I don't think should be out there as an overlapping fullback. Gusto, I think he can be an overlapping fullback, but going forward, he's not the best. And Nahato, I don't even think he's really a fullback either. So that's our fullback options. And you look at our midfield, Caicedo's not a DM. He's an 8, but he's having to play as a DM because the real DM we bought, Lavia, he's constantly injured. But even if Lavia was fit, the guy's like 5'10" or 5'11". He's not really like a tall physical presence in midfield. So he can't really sit per se on his own, because if he's having to face big monsters in midfield, like say a Declan Rice, that to me is kind of an issue I might worry about from a massive physical presence point of view. Trying to win aerial duels, that's something I kind of will worry about. Enzo, I don't think he can consistently sit in a pivot and a double pivot in the Prem. Physicality wise, I don't think that's going to work. And I don't know, like kind of playing a midfield three of like Caicedo, Enzo, Palmer, without all the right pieces around it with the rest of the team, I don't know how successful that can necessarily be. And people will even say, and I kind of agree with this, Palmer's better off the right than he is as a 10. But if you play Palmer off the right, the guy's not he's not quick, he's not fast. He doesn't beat his fullback being dynamic like that. He's intelligent. He'll want to link with players. He'll want to drift in. And that only works if you have an overlapping fullback on the right, which we don't play that way anyway.
We literally do play.
And then you have,
okay.
Yep. No, not necessarily. Okay. But not in terms of the actual quality of players. But okay. And then you have Esteval, who is best off the right, but then you're saying Palmer to play centrally. I don't think he's like the best in playing. Like, I don't think he should be playing centrally. I'll be real. And then we have non-existent players out on the left. Like, this squad building's so ass. Squad building so bad. And it's like people don't realize this.
The only thing I agree with out of all of that shit is the left wingers. The left wingers are so bad. They're so terrible.
I think the squad building. I think the squad building in general is bad. Like, forget in terms of the actual squad and how it functions. It's very, very, very bad. Because I look at Arsenal's team. There's a lot of players in their team individually I don't actually rate, but as a squad, it's much better than what we have. It's much better than what we have.
Yeah, realistically, I think Chelsea could do a lot better in terms of the centre backs and strikers, in my opinion, and left winger the most. I think that doesn't even need to be said, but we know it has to be said.
We spent almost $2 billion. And that's the big problem. We've spent the big money. So it's not like we've only spent like 300 million in 4 years. So that's why the squad's poor. We've spent massive money. It shouldn't be this bad.
I feel like directors and higher ups escape pressure and backlash too much in this country in general. But every time at ownership, they just know how to twang English fans easily because they're easily twanged. Get a new manager. Even though the manager wasn't the main problem. It wasn't the main problem at all. I'm sorry. I would never ever feel that Maresca was the main problem at Chelsea. Never. Ever in a million years. From a neutral standpoint, I can see that Maresca was at least trying to get the best out of what he had. And he showed he was good enough by winning 2 trophies. And don't get me wrong, every coach has their limitations. Every coach has their limitation. Cool. No coach can be like bullet point perfect. But at the same time, when it comes to centre-back angle, yeah, cool. For example, a Chalobah is better with a Fofana, for example. Yes, I do agree. I don't think I know Fofana's been managed better when it comes to injury, but you want that like major centre back in front of him then to be like, okay, if he can't play, then Fofana with his quality, he can come in and play this game and stuff like that as well. Because not that he's not good enough to start for Chelsea, but it's like if you can't keep him fit when playing a certain amount of games, like for example, Gabriel and Saliba play a lot of games, but they can stay fit. Fofana probably couldn't do that workload due to the amount of horrendous injuries he's had. You want to get that extra centre back in so they can play in front of him. And let's say Levi Colwill was fit. Levi Colwill would have another partner. Basically, be good with 2 people. And on and off, you can switch them between competitions. Striker. Listen, I think I'm not the biggest fan of João Pedro, but what I will say is that João Pedro felt like the only attacker on the pitch, let alone for Chelsea, that was actually trying to do anything. And it was very important.
On the pitch.
And that's basically what I mean. Because like watching that game was horrendous. And it felt like the only bit of quality that was going to come from anything was João Pedro. Of him controlling the ball, drawing Saliba out, etc. But as striker options, Delap and Pedro is terrible squad building. It's terrible. You can't have a Delap and Pedro as your only striker options. But it also doesn't help when you have no left winger. I'll never get Garnacho for 7 years. I don't even remember him. He didn't come on against Arsenal, did he? I don't remember.
He did, yeah.
He did. Okay, fucking no. I didn't even fucking know.
He did nothing.
And I've said this before. I'll say it once again. The 2 worst performances I've seen against West Ham over the past few years has been Garnacho for 2 different clubs. And it's not even taking a piss. Like since Moyes left, I'd say the 2 worst individual performances against West Ham have been Garnacho, and I say it a lot. This is terrible squad building. To be fair to Robert Sanchez, he's improved. He has improved. But at the same time, Chelsea could always do better. Always. And people don't use their scouting systems properly. Like, I think it made sense to bring Sarr back. I've never watched the guy, but I'm thinking logically from this. You was interested in a centre-back who was doing well in Liga anyway. And you so-called missed out on him due to Liverpool. But if you have one in Liga already, there's no point spending money on another one, if that makes sense. I'm just thinking logically from that. And to be fair, I've not watched them 2 players. So maybe they're different type of players, and maybe they can both bring the same thing, both bring different things or whatever. Maybe they can. But I'm just thinking logically, bringing back a guy who's doing well at the same league of another centre-back that you was actually trying to get makes sense. But it doesn't make sense to bring him back in the last day of the month where you could have integrated him if you really needed him that bad. Instead of not stumbling over, but like watching over a deal for time.
We do that a lot.
I feel like the problem is proactiveness when it comes to your directors, because it's not like you don't scout good players. It's not like you don't find gems at times, but it's very scattered with the type of player you're trying to find and the quality of player you're trying to find. Like, you'll get an Esteval, and then you get a Garnacho. Like, nothing makes sense. Like, imagine building a front three, and like one of it is like one of the best young talents in world football right now, and the other one is one of the worst players in the Prem. Like, nothing makes sense in my head when I'm looking at like that's not. It's not just not Chelsea. It's just not what a top club does. And Chelsea have won trophies still doing this. So look what
Yeah.
you could do if you actually recruited well. Like, I think that's what would be the most frustrating thing if you're a Chelsea fan right now. Am I wrong?
Sure, but like I think the squad building is something that's been so just I don't even know the word for it, but like it's just been talked about every day, every day. As soon as Chelsea start doing well, all of a sudden people are going to be on the other side of the spectrum. You fucked up with Garnacho, 'cause he's shit. You fucked up with Lavia because he's made of Weetabix. Yeah, after you pour the milk in. Yeah, his hamstrings are just not there. A lot else is completely fine. Nearly
Would you
everything
keep the
else.
directors then?
No, they need to go. I'd say maybe keep one of them because they're really, really good at getting rid of players that we need to get rid of. Sterling took a little bit too long, but now he's also gone. Fix the wage structure at the club. No one's gonna see Sterling on £325,000 a week and think Palmer's on 130. That doesn't make too much sense. Caicedo's on 120. Doesn't make too much sense when Sterling's on upwards of 300,000. We've done a lot of good, and I feel like a lot of the good doesn't get talked about enough, in my opinion. They need
think
to
But what
go.
about
I think there's more
but
bad
what?
than good. Like I've been speaking about the squad building like for ages. I don't like it. The way we spend money and then we currently have what we have is bad. It's very bad, bro. This squad building it's not good. It's really not good.
Yeah, but what would you do to fix that?
Just be smart in how we move. Why is it that we spent January trying to chase Jacquet when we had Mamadou Sarr? Sarr, who I would have kept in the summer anyway. I said back in the summer, get rid of Fofana, get rid of Chalobah, Badiashile, Tosin, and just keep the young centre backs we have. Keep Anselmino, keep Sarr and Colwell, and just let these guys like actually and Achimpong and let them play and develop together. Let them just because I'd rather have them doing that and then these young guys making mistakes because I can accept that. I'm not going to accept the bozo-ness that we see from Tosin, Bafana, Chalobah, Badiashile. These guys are in their mid to late 20s. I'm not accepting that from them.
Okay.
That's not for one.
Honestly, as well,
Two,
Tostin.
our left wingers, we spent under 100 million on left wingers just in January to be inquiring for Semenyo. Why? That's weird. If Semenyo is really that good, then why didn't we just buy him in the summer? If Jacquet is really that good, why didn't we buy him last summer?
Because both of them wasn't that good in the summer.
But that's
I don't feel
what
like
this
we was looking for. Why would we get another left? What do you mean?
But that's what this scouting that this system we're meant to do, right? We're supposed to be finding quote unquote the next Enzo before he becomes Enzo, and you have to spend 100 million on him. That's what this was. After we spent that big money on Enzo Fernandez, they came out and said that we want to find the next superstars, the next up and coming young players, which is cool. If you're gonna do that, surely your scouting has to be better than what we're doing now. It has to be a lot better than what we're doing now. We spent in the start of the summer, we were trying to buy Dean Huijsen. I knew about Dean Huijsen when he was at Roma. So why didn't we get him from Roma or even get him from Juve? We went from Juve to Bournemouth. Why didn't we sign him? The scouting is poor because even when we find young gems, we either don't get them or we do get them, and then they end up going out to Strasbourg to play. Why do Strasbourg have our better centre backs? Why?
I mean, they develop in Ligue 1. You're talking about the strikers as well. I can't remember his name for some reason. Is it
Omega?
Is it Omega? Yeah.
Yeah.
He, as soon as we hit the button to recall, that's not a problem anymore.
Okay,
So I don't feel like it's a discussion that needs to be made.
but it is a problem when our current squad.
Yeah,
We have João Pedro, who he's on a purple patch right now, which is cool. But like for me, the jury is still kind of on him. And then you have the Lap, who should be on a construction site right now.
yeah, he should get shot dead. I can't. He's so bad at football.
So, like, that's the stuff I mean about like squad building. You do a little bit that might be good, but like there's so much bad in this squad.
Yeah,
There's so much bad.
With the striker options you have now, with the centre backs you have now, with the fact that Neto is underperforming, with the left wingers you have now, with the fullbacks, like with Hatta being the backup fullback right now, are we really saying a lot of this squad is good?
There's a bunch of good players.
I know,
but like, are we
as
saying like the squad building is good with
but-
where you are right now with like 8 windows
Yeah,
in, with,
as a
like, the strikers
squad.
that you have up front?
And also, what helps with your squad building is by having a very good manager, like potentially, like with Maresca. I'm not going to say he's elite, but like he looked like he could be on the cusp of becoming elite. He's very, very, very good. He's quality. He's gone, and then we have Liam, who I think he's a very good coach, but like respectfully, he shouldn't be here.
Yeah,
If he was like at a Brentford or like a West Ham without Sullivan and stuff like that, that would be fine for him developing. He shouldn't be here. So that's part of your squad building, not just the individual players you have in your squad, how they work as a collective, and the manager in charge of them. That's all part of the squad building.
That's what like. I'm not like this is why I said the thing is scattered, because there's good players at Chelsea, but it's scattered around with mediocre players and not players are not Chelsea level of starter quality. There's a lot of Chelsea players that are there that can play as a squad player, like, but all of these players at once starting is what's the gap is from Chelsea being a constant title competing team, a constant threat in terms of like the majors. Like that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at Chelsea. I'm like, where's the goal scorer? The goal scorer. Who we're looking at as the goal scorer. Like the goals can be scattered around. Who is the goal scorer right now? Where in the midfield is at least getting a little bit more help now with like Andre Santos being some form of competition. Romeo Lavia, someone needs to check check his age. But Cucurella, you'd like to think he's going to get some help eventually with Jiro Hato slowly being integrated. And James Augusto has always been the competition. The centre backs needed major surgery for a little bit, but that's what I'm saying. It's scattered. Like, but that's why I'm very confused at the recruitment. I'm very confused at what are Chelsea going to do next. Is Amiga going to come, whatever his fucking name is he going to come in and be the goal scorer? Like,
Probably.
That's the kind of worry.
If it's anyone, it's either him or Palmer. If Palmer picks up his form again, seems like he's.
That's worrying
it looks like he's
to have all that pressure.
There's been other ones that have done it.
Yeah, but isn't this does not repeat the same story before? Like,
yeah,
well, Pedro,
ideally, you build up your best 11 with Chelsea in like let's say a 4-3-1, right? There's certain players there that you wouldn't hate at all if they were like B team players at all. João Pedro off the bench, I don't have a single problem. Not a single problem.
That's fair.
João Pedro, in my opinion, isn't the striker we intended to start. I don't think he is. I think Delap was meant to be the guy. The Delap idea, the Delap project has failed. He's shit. 30 million on him. We're probably still going to make a fucking profit of him.
But that's Melon. But Melon, that's part of the squad building.
Yeah, of course. I don't know if the squad building necessarily has been great, but it's so close to being just very, very, very good. It's so close.
But do you think they'll get there?
Yeah, of course.
But with the history of signing like a Gittins, Garnacho, and Delap, etc., like what gives you the optimism that they will get there?
I don't personally believe Gittins is a bad player or a bad signing.
I don't even.
That fairs. I do agree on that with Gittins. I think he is in terms of the way he plays, that suits Maresca and it also suits Rosenier. Like a winger, hug the touchline, can beat his man 1v1 and can get shots on goal, crosses and stuff. I agree with that. Gittins does not play that much, bro. He doesn't play.
Yeah, he doesn't.
And that's a massive frustration I have. Because it's not like Garnacho is this like world-class or top-class player where Gittins deserves to stay on the bench. Garnacho starts ahead of him, and that's part of the poor squad build.
But like that's what going back to my question, what gives the optimism of, for example, like what I mean by signing Gittins, it's signing Gittins as like there is no one to learn off, as I keep mentioning with young players a lot. Like you can't just plot Gittins as like a all right, start for Chelsea, go on, do your thing. Like what gives the optimism to then bridge the gap with your current state right now?
I feel like there's two massive problems with our team. The two major problems in my opinion. Let's say everyone's fit and available, because it rarely ever happens anyway that everyone's fit and available. Gittins has gone down. Fucking Palmer's been out pretty much the entire season. You've got the history and the record with Reece, whatever. Just ignore all of that for a second. It's obviously unrealistic now because they're long gone. But in theory, in profile, bring me a Matic, bring me a Costa.
Who's the alternative of that now in this era? Do you reckon?
No idea. No idea.
Do you reckon a what?
Bring me a competent tool CDM, because we have a lack of height in midfield.
Watson?
We had that though. Like for example, you said a Matic or Costa. Yeah. For the last 2 summers, we've had one of the best strikers in the world in Osimhen that wants to come to Chelsea.
Yeah, and his agent fucked it up.
Like, because what you're saying about like you saying we're not that far away, I agreed with that back in the summer. I did. I agree with that even going into the season that we're not actually that far away. I agreed with that. However, with the manager, like a big part of why I agreed with that was the manager too. The manager's gone.
Yeah.
Before Maresca left, I was going into this semi-final saying we'll beat Arsenal. We'll make it to the final.
Yeah. So was I.
We don't have like even to get top 4 because Maresca we were in bad form, but we would have got out of that top bad form. We still would have finished like 4th or something. But now I'm looking at it like yes, we can still finish 4th or 5th because this squad itself has shown. Or at least the core players in the squad have shown over the last 2 seasons with Maresca and Poch that they can put in a run of form to the end of the season. So, but with the manager we have with Rosenier, there'll be certain games where he's going to have to like out-coach the other manager to get us over the line. It won't just be on our quality individuals. And I trust Maresca to out-coach. Yeah. I don't trust Rosen, I don't trust him. I think we're farther away than what you think, Melon, because this ownership won't allow us to bridge the gap. They won't allow us to bridge. Because look at how poor this league season has been. Because people talk about Arsenal not being great. This league has been poor, and going into it, we weren't far away. If we had bought one of like a Donnarumma or say he's a top class center back like a Slotterbeck or an Osimhen, just one of those 3, we'd be a lot closer. I don't know what the points are right now. Maybe we'd low key still be in the title race, but we'd definitely be a lot closer than we are now.
You'd probably be where Villa are.
Yes, and you know what, Mike? That's fine. I don't have because that's what I was looking at going into the season. So that's fine. I'm not asking for anything like crazy. Just be where Villa are, and I'm like, cool. I'm not hating on the ownership as necessarily as much. But part of why I have the big, I'm like, we shouldn't be that far away, and I agree we're not that far away. But because they won't do what's required to help us close the gap a little bit, we're even farther away than we think. Because we'll go into the summer, and Tossin will probably leave, which is great. Badia Shaw probably will leave, which is great. Neto will be gone, which is great. But we're not going to sign like a big quality, say, forward or a big quality center back or a big quality midfielder. If we sell Enzo this summer, for example, because a lot of Chelsea fans get onto Enzo, and to be fair, I used to be one of them. If we get rid of Enzo, do you think we'll sign a midfielder to the same level of Enzo Fernandez?
No.
And isn't that a problem?
I'm not saying this because he's amazing. I don't feel like there is many midfielders of his level of quality. Like there's just not.
No, I know, but like a lot of people will say that he's like just like he's a good player, but he's not special or anything, which is fine. So let's say Enzo is this like just a good or maybe very good player. He's not world class or anything. That's cool. Do you think we'll bring in another very good player to replace Enzo Fernandez? I don't trust them to.
No,
I don't trust them to. This links to Palmer leaving. I don't trust if, say, Palmer does go, which I don't believe is happening. If Palmer goes, I don't trust them to replace Palmer with a player of equal quality. I don't trust them to do that.
It's gonna be very difficult.
So that's why it's probably going to be very difficult to bridge the gap then, because you were talking about DM and striker like Matic and Costa. So like I'm thinking, obviously, even in profile, it's very difficult to find, especially more Costa than Matic. Even though it's very difficult to find a Matic nowadays.
Matic is still playing, man.
That is also true. But for example, like who would be the alternative? I know like Osimhen was mentioned earlier, but in the summer it wasn't. When we're having a conversation, it was like Galatasaray, he's there for a reason. That was the type of vibe that was. Look at Arsenal. Wait, let me land. That was on the Claret and Royal Blue show sort of thing.
Yeah.
When we're talking about Osimhen, it was kind of a different conversation then. But with the striker and DM now, would it be a case of like the type of DM you find would free up a Caicedo? Like
Caicedo would partner him. Caicedo
would that free him to go more further forward because of the strike he has on him? Like he could do more going forward.
Yeah,
like he's a well-rounded midfielder. Like
the best
you're looking for. Who's the alternative that you'd be looking for right now?
Oh, Lavia.
Yeah, but who out there, bruv?
Like okay, we're linked to.
He might as well be fucking out there.
Like
he's
we're massively linked to Wharton and Anderson.
What
if Enzo goes, I like as much. I don't really know. I don't trust that we're gonna sign Wharton or Anderson. I really don't trust it. Like, look at because like look at. Fine, there's no Matic or Costa profile right in this day and age, but if you're talking about a top class or a top or soft after deep lying midfielder or defensive midfielder and a sought after goal scorer, Arsenal went inside Gyökeres and Zubimendi in the summer. And fine, Gyökeres hasn't like been amazing. He's been shit. Cool. Zubimendi, he's been found out in big games. Cool. But Arsenal tried. They at least actively tried to bring in people. We didn't.
Yeah, I forgot there was even a fucking window, bro. It's just closed.
Yeah, this window was the biggest escape in my mind. I can't lie,
bro. The only permanent changes we made was the manager, bro.
Yeah, that is crazy. That was at the start of the new year, which is
we upgraded in terms of the centre backs we have now, based on loan deals and shit like that. David Fofana's found a new fucking loan deal. Big up to him.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah. Maybe bring him. Now, fuck it, man.
No, but
David Fofana revisionism, bro. I'm hearing all of it.
Even in the last summer, bro, we are the way this club was parading us being world champions, and we didn't try and use that flex to sign anyone, any big top player to help. We didn't try using that flex.
It's mind-boggling to say the least. I can't lie. I think
bro, like I had towards the end of Roman being in charge, I had a lot of like problems with how we were ran in terms of the squad building. But do you guys ever think Roman would go into the season, allow Arsenal to win this league?
No, hell no.
Never.
No. He call a fucking nuke on fucking North London, bro. If it's about he wouldn't even let the parade happen. He would be the one now, of course, the next terrorist attack in this country.
Yeah.
Bro, Roman would have assigned a top goalkeeper, a top center back, and then Cole gets injured, and another top center back. He would have signed a top striker. He would have done everything to make sure Arsenal don't win this league.
Yeah, I guess.
But
So.
our ownership will just see Arsenal potentially win it and just be like, cool. And we won't do anything to stop them potentially retaining it next year. We'll just like nothing.
Chug.
Yeah. But speaking of chug, Alfie, from an outsider's perspective, what have you made of like Chelsea's recruitment, and what do you think the gap is between, like, you obviously you've seen Arsenal develop into a title challenging team, potentially a title winning team this season. What do Chelsea need to do? What is that? How many players? What's the gap? What's the level? Especially you've seen them play against Chelsea a couple of times as well.
I mean, from my perspective, the situation has seemed like it's almost as if Chelsea are signing these players and then second guessing themselves after the fact. And some of the players that they've got in, they're not really giving them a chance unless they're really desperate. I mean, take the whole Hato situation, for example. They barely played him, and now all of a sudden he's getting minutes. It still feels like I'm pretty sure, what is it, 2022? Todd Bowley took charge. So we're 4 years deep into the project, and he still doesn't seem like he knows what the fuck he's doing, and neither do Blueco in general. Like the
Todd Bowley doesn't run anything anymore, so.
The transfer scouting system still like it's all willy-nilly. Like they're all fucking about. Not really sure what type of caliber player Chelsea need. And for Chelsea's sake, they need to fix up fast.
That's fair enough. But what do you think the gap is? Like, how far away?
I think they're a top 4 team at a push. They're a top 4 team if they butt their ideas up at the moment.
How far away do you think they are from challenging then? Like, what do you think they need to address?
I still think they need to get rid of a lot of the deadwood in the team, and I also think they need to recruit in the right way, bring in players that are going to bolster the squad, not diminish what they're trying to build, and hopefully, optimistic wise, I think you're looking at maybe 1 or 2 seasons, maybe 3. Until Chelsea could mount a serious title challenge.
Is there any position on the pitch you think that, like, for example, when you watch them, like, I don't know, over the 2 legs, or when you've watched the Chelsea game in your spare time, like, is there any specific areas you think that you may think, Chelsea needs someone there, they're missing something there, etc.? Like,
I mean, don't get me wrong. While I think João Pedro's performed well recently, I still think they need an out-and-out striker. I think that's always been a massive talking point for Chelsea, is in terms of the striker that they get. I think you look at the previous strikers they've had in the past, they've not exactly worked out. Jackson, fucking Aubameyang, like Diego Costa was hit and miss. I think he was good for 2 seasons out of the time that he was there. Torres, we won't even talk about. Like they've always seemed to struggle with strikers, so I think that's probably the first port of call in terms of where they look to improve the squad. And then after that, just sort your importance, like in terms of positions, in order, and then go from there.
I hear it. Well, given that Arsenal obviously gone through, but you're facing Manchester City, and City beat Newcastle. First of all, I want to say this. Eddie Howe, time to go, mate.
I think his time's done at Newcastle. I think it's time for someone else.
I think he's run its course. Like tactically, like he's become very limited with buying his own play, but also the PSR thing cannot run anymore from Newcastle. It cannot. I know Elanga scored today, and listen, I got why to an extent they signed Elanga, because I'm thinking, what is Eddie Howe good at? Getting better out of attackers than what they are. Jacob Murphy was seen as a technically good player, but never reached a certain level until Eddie Howe came in. So I get it. Elanga on a counter makes sense. Waterman is a good signing. Riss is a good signing. That makes sense. But Jacob Ramsey as well. It's like having another Joe Willock. It's like they're both good players. They both do the exact same thing, but they're both injury prone. So it kind of doesn't make any sense. And then you haven't really got the midfield depth there because Lewis Miley, when Trippier and Livramento both out was playing right back. So you've only got 3 proper available midfielders. The squad building, when we talk about squad building with Chelsea, the squad building with Newcastle, with the owners they have, with their ways of getting around PSR has also been bad, with people like Gordon not performing. Gordon's been terrible this season. Gordon's been shit. It's like he's gone back to Everton Gordon. And maybe we're just seeing his limit. I don't think Gordon should get a big move. I don't understand why. If Gordon is still linked with a move towards fucking Liverpool next year, I'll be dumbfounded. Like, it is just so stupid. Like, he's not the upgrade that people think. Don't get me wrong. I thought I was wrong about Gordon because I didn't like Gordon. But when he went to Newcastle and was starting doing well, I was like, okay, maybe I might be wrong about this guy because he's actually doing it for like 2 seasons rather than just having a purple patch. But he seems to be a guy that, like I criticize with a lot of wingers, just runs into space. And when it's time for the pressure to be on Newcastle, he doesn't perform. So the winger options, the fact that 2 strikers are getting kind of injured, the lack of midfield depth, the fullbacks are getting injured a lot, confusing goalkeeping situation, the centre backs get injured. It's a very injury prone team. But you have to look at Eddie Howe and be like, you got to get more out of what you have. But you also got to, if you're really this in charge of recruitment, and not in charge, but if you have a really big hand in what say or what doesn't go in recruitment, you need to look at yourself as well. And as for Man City, they did their job. But that's embarrassing you're already going to the Etihad, where you're already losing 3-0 or 2-0, and then they score 3 goals in the first half.
Don't get me wrong. I think I don't think the Alexander Isak situation necessarily helped Newcastle this season, but at the same time, you can't sit there and pin all of their misfortunes on that one moment because that was relatively early in the season. We've been 5-6 months since then. You know, hopefully by that time you should have it all figured out. They've managed to qualify in the Champions League, which in a way I can kind of see the similarities with. You look at Newcastle's Premier League form, compare it to their Champions League form. I see the similarity in Arsenal where we've made the Champions League look somewhat easy and then the Premier League games are a lot more difficult, whereas it kind of looks the same way for Newcastle. Obviously, they haven't had quite the record that we had in the Champions League this season, but they did relatively well, qualified. Yet in the Premier League, they're all over the place.
Yeah.
And after a season where they've won a trophy as well, normally after you've won a trophy, you want to build on that. That's the target. They've taken 5-6 steps backwards.
Yeah.
So realistically, I don't see really much sense in doing it now, but I think in the summer, I think you start looking at a different manager. I think as far as his time at Newcastle, I think it's done for Eddie Howe.
I do see logic in doing it now because they're still in the Champions League. They're still they could still basically compete in the Premier League, like for European places. I see go and get something that's going to give you some new form of energy. Go and do it now. Go and let him oversee the team right now. Maybe it's a bit weird before, like just after the transfer window. Maybe that's the only thing I will say, but they didn't do anything in a fucking transfer window, so it kind of doesn't really make a difference. And I can't lie. I think the problem is of like kind of what you said about capitalizing on a trophy. West Ham didn't capitalize. Crystal Palace didn't capitalize. When you're a team outside the Big Six, you can't afford to just live off the trophy. Tottenham didn't even capitalize off their fucking Europa League. This is the problem. Like English clubs don't do this often anyway nowadays, especially over the past like few years, maybe barring Man City, of capitalizing on winning. They don't do that often, and you can't afford to do it when you're outside the big six. When it's like kind of your moment, your wave of trying to break into one of those spots of when one big six club misses out on something when it comes to a cup competition or the league, you haven't capitalized properly. You haven't. And West Ham couldn't afford to do it at the time. Palace couldn't afford to do it at the time. And neither can Newcastle. They're seeing the brunt of it. It's the truth. Yeah, let me bring up Connor's drawing. Connor did this drawing of AJ and Alfie. AJ and Alfie going full spectrum squad mode as they witness Chelsea choke against Arsenal. Like,
Things you love to see in it.
I really like these drawings. I really like these drawings. It's actually very, like, instead of the style they're in, very accurate.
Connor's actually a G, you know.
You've actually given AJ
Connor's
a hairline, that's all. You've given AJ a hairline, which is impressive.
Connor's nice to him.
I mean, it's
Nice.
it's missing the thing on the forehead though. So I mean,
What the yeah.
pizza cutter.
Yeah, the pizza cut, yeah.
To be fair, that could be that actually could be a gal instead of AJ.
Fuck's sake. Carlisle
It
injuries.
looks more like fucking jams, bro. If you know, you know, bro.
Oh my god, big up Gems.
Big
I
up
hope you're
jams.
doing well wherever you are. Carlisle the injuries, I don't blame Hal, but he's been stubborn and the away record is worried. No, I agree. I'm not blaming the injuries on him, but it's just the way the squad's built. There's so many injury players. If you've got already a lot of injury prone players, you should be looking at injury records anyway of players, but you should be looking at even more analysis if you've got an injury prone squad already. Literally everywhere in your squad is fucking injuries and you're not building on it. You're not building on the depth of it. Is this the old GVO show, Melon the Prime live audience? Bro, it's literally just clicked on. Come on, man. There was a period of time where we were just debating about Chelsea. Melon, you also lucky you didn't take the 15 league goals from Delap at the start of the season. I remember that.
I stand on what I said.
Wait, you said what from the lap?
I think I said something like, with consistent game time in the league from the lap in about 2 or 3 seasons, I could see someone like him scoring 15 goals a season.
No, but we were looking at, but our conversation was about this season because the whole point was, is it going to be 15 league goals in the season or 15 league goals in all competitions? And we were talking about having the same conversation of who's the goal scorer at Chelsea.
Melon, what are your thoughts on Morris?
Morris?
I think is his name Carlton Morris, who played for Luton in the Prem. What's your thoughts on Morris, Melon?
No, what are you talking about? No idea.
Remember when Luton won the Prem, their striker was called Morris. Do you not remember him?
No.
What's
Okay,
going on?
cool.
Big man, what are you on about? I'm not a Luton fan. You see that? That's a Chelsea shirt right there. I support.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
you see that? That's Chelsea.
know
I'm
it's
a Chelsea fan. I'm not a Luton fan.
That's cool. Yeah, no, that's cool.
I've no idea.
Yeah, okay. Basically, my point being is, like, I don't think that Delap's not even like really better than that guy. The goals Delap got the goal total Delap got last season in the league, you only got one more than what Morris got at Luton when they were in the Prem the year before.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And about half of Delap's goals last season were pens, you know?
7, I think. Yeah.
And also,
pens.
like, I've been saying this about Delap. It's not just him; it's them type of player. Do I think Delap is a bad player? No. The reason why I don't think he's a bad player is because I literally wanted him at West Ham, but also I literally just think it's the level. It's just a fish out of water. I don't think you as Liam Delap, the construction worker, can perform at Chelsea. You can't. You were literally at Hull, the Ipswich to Chelsea. Who does this? This modern day football shit, it pisses me off in general. In modern day football,
Same as a manager, bro.
how common it is, bro. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
We
Like
just
even
wanted
if-
familiar. We brought in a new manager. He was at Hull. Who else was at Hull? Oh yeah, Delap.
bro, nothing makes sense. I've been saying that the lap signing never made sense, but it is what it is. Move your headphones, pushing your head, looking like an extra in American history. What the fuck? That Newcastle medical team are on elite fraud watch. Oh, bro.
What is
Oh, my
going on with
days.
the injuries, bro?
Yeah, Clinton Morris. Yeah, I bet him Delap would get 15 league goals if Delap didn't get 50 memberships on Meta Channel when they get some monetizing. Oh yeah. I can't believe you actually offered to give 50 members. You're a madman. But to be fair, you've given memberships on the channel before, and still on Meta Channel would have been mad. You don't think Delap is bad because you want him at West Ham. You want him more Prowse. What's your point, Mikes? Okay, Ward-Prowse wasn't bad at Southampton though. So that's my. He wasn't bad at Southampton. So the way he's turned out has pissed me off. Everyone always brings up this Ward-Prowse point. Like I didn't like say that. To Europe.
AJ, I've got a sick reply in it, but backstage.
You didn't need to interrupt me to say that, but okay.
Sorry.
Like
my bad.
but Liam Delap. The point is that like if you go from a Hull to Ipswich to Chelsea is retarded. It makes sense you come into a club like you would never want to come to a club like West Ham because of the stock that you had. If it wasn't Chelsea, it would have been fucking Man United buying him, and he would have looked shit there as well. He would have been there, but he would have looked fucking terrible there.
He would have looked worse, bro.
It would have looked clunky. Like it literally, like I get it. I want to Ward-Prowse at West Ham. You're allowed to with different opinions to be like, by the way, I was wrong. And this is the problem I have. Certain man in my comments always bring up this point. But you wanted this. It was 3 years ago. It was 3 years ago. I'm allowed to change my opinion based on what I see.
No, you're
It's
not.
not like, and also, it's also like I don't do the whole like every 3 months thing. I change my mind either. I give people time to like give them a rope to basically hang themselves with, and then I'm like, cool. I'm wrong, but there's a lot of players I also didn't want at West Ham that were shit that ended up at West Ham. So if we're doing that, I didn't want. I told people for, I know you're taking a piss, AJ, but I'm just making a point. I also said for a year and a half before he signed, Calvin Phillips should never sign for West Ham United because he's shit. And he literally another player that Bielsa made look better. And Calvin Phillips is one of the worst players I've seen at West Ham. Now he's at Sheffield United.
I forgot he even played for West Ham, bro. What the fuck?
He played at West Ham for 6 months, was one of the reasons why we bottled a 3-1 lead to Newcastle to lose 4-3, because Moyes is a fucking terrorist. And that was a genuinely dreadful season. Then you got abuse, and people are like, oh, don't give him abuse. No, give him abuse. Fuck that fat cunt. I don't care.
Give him abuse. Hey, clip that Future Prime.
All right, listen, people, we're gonna end it there. Phillips is a fat cunt. You heard it here first. But we're gonna redirect. I don't know to who, but I'll find someone in it. But everyone's links is in the title, people. So subscribe to everyone in the title. Sarcasm, CTV clips, Melon and Alfie.
Oh my god.
And yeah, we will see you guys another time. Take care.